We're on part 3 of hearing from God. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and then all of a sudden get distracted and the other person keeps talking and then you whip back and go, hey, what was that you were saying? Can you repeat that? What was that? We've all been there, right? Happens to us throughout life. Well, what happens when that voice was God? So this part 3 is on perspective and distraction. And there's many accounts throughout the Bible going from the Garden of Eden to right through Revelations, actually. So we're going to start in John chapter 3, verse 31 through 36. To give you a little bit of perspective, John's in prison. His followers are seeing Jesus and his disciples baptizing people in large number in the Jordan River. And they wonder, why is John, who was doing the same thing, in prison? He was doing God's work. What's going on? So they run to John to pay him a visit. And then they say, hey, why is this? Why are you here? And Jesus and his disciples are out there doing God's work and baptizing people. And here is John's response in part. John chapter 3, verse 31 through 36. And he's referring to Jesus. He who comes from above is above all. He who comes from the earth is from the earth and talks from an earthly point of view. So he's talking from John is seeing Jesus, obviously, is above all. He who comes from heaven. The one who is, or the people who is coming from earth, from an earthly point of view, is his followers and other people that are not hearing and listening to what Jesus is saying and doing. They have an earthly perspective. And then he repeats, he who comes from above is above all. Very important. He's trying to convey perspective on them, spiritual perspective. He testifies about what he has actually seen and heard. In other words, John didn't see or hear creation. He did not hear and see everything that happened in heaven leading up to this point, but Jesus did. Yet no one accepts what he says. So he's looking at them like, why aren't you listening to what Jesus is saying? Whoever does accept what he says puts his seal on the fact that God is true. Because the one whom God sent speaks God's words. So go listen to him. All right? For God does not give him the Spirit in limited degree. The Father loves the Son and has put everything into his hands. In other words, he is not missing anything. I was, but he is not. Whoever trusts the Son has eternal life, but whoever disobeys the Son will not see that life, but remain subject to God's wrath. And the key thing in there is obedience. How do we obey Jesus if we don't hear him? You can't. If we're distracted by the world, if we're distracted by what the world wants us to see, what the enemy wants us to see, just like he distracted Adam and Eve in the garden, just like Peter was distracted when he was walking on water by the wind and the waves and he fell into the water, right? He was rescued by Jesus because he called out to Jesus. But what if we had a daily relationship with the Most High God? We had a daily walk with Jesus and we obeyed him and we listened to him. No, we're not going to be perfect. But he said, greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. In other words, that spirit that I put in you is more powerful than anything you come up against in this world, including the evil one, including all your circumstances, including all your distractions. Stay focused on him. Keep in relationship with him. Listen to him.